Have you reached the conclusion that President Trump should be prosecuted?
I certainly think the president is guilty of knowing what he did, seditious conspiracy, being involved in these, kind of different segments of pressuring DOJ, vice president, et cetera. Obviously, we're not a criminal charges committee, so I want to be careful in specifically using that language. But I think what we're presenting before the American people certainly would rise to a level of criminal involvement by a president and definitely failure of the oath. The oath has to matter here. Your personal demand to stand for the Constitution has to matter. And if you have people that don't regard that at all, there is no law in the world that we can pass that's going to make a bit of difference.
You're in a small minority among Republicans, only one of 2 Republicans on the committee. Our new poll also shows a huge partisan divide. 91% of Democrats believe that President Trump should be prosecuted. Only 19% of Republicans. 91% of Democrats believe the president bears ultimate responsibility for what happened. Only 21% of Republicans. How do you explain that gap? How do you explain the views of a majority of Republicans?
Well, look, I would guess that before Nixon, really resigned, you probably see something fairly similar. Now, this is obviously, we're in a way worse position, I think, today. And I think this blows actually Watergate, out of the water. But how do I explain it? Is leadership, lack of leadership in the Republican Party. So if you have people that don't trust what they hear on the media, or they don't trust what they hear from certain leaders, and everybody has people they trust and where they get their information. But that whole segment of leaders that Republican voters trust, that includes Kevin McCarthy, of course that includes Donald Trump and others. If you're going to stand in front of those people and lie to them and tell them Donald Trump's right, the election was stolen, because that has you give me $20 when I send you the next email, or it's way easier for my primary election, we can have no doubt that 80% of the country is going to believe what their leaders are saying. This is where, if you're not willing to tell people the truth in America, you shouldn't run for Congress. Go do something else. But this should be a position where you can tell the hard truth. And unfortunately, my party has utterly failed the American people at truth. It makes me sad, but it's a fact.